first people presenting to get their instruments set up. In the meantime, do you have your computer? Yeah. Yep. So just bring your computer. Just get it easier for you to present.
If you're right,
So let's just do the roll really quickly. So it was Sandy here. Ariana. Is Ariana here? Oh, okay. Cool. Is Richard here?
Yes.
Is Nikki here? Oh, sorry. Nemea, sorry. Nemea? Nemea? Judy?
yeah,
Where's it? Michael? Lynn? Neil?
Yeah.
Stephanie? Yeah. Lee?
yeah.
Drew?
Right.
Is it Rod?
Yeah.
Can you say that again? I can't.
Rod.
Rod, yeah, okay. Oscar, we have Selena, George,
Yeah.
Dominic,
Yeah.
Zoe, Marco,
Yeah.
and Vivian. So Marco, actually, you're gonna go second, and then Zoe. No, I was thinking you guys to go first, but I think, sorry, what's your name again?
Neil.
Neil, volunteered to go. And then we're gonna, from there on, we're gonna just, do it from roll order as well.
That's really smart. I'm gonna do that.
Did you check your emails?
I'm thinking he's a bug.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you want to just straight Oh, okay, yeah. So, I'm just gonna put this. So, you, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, sure.
Ready? Oh, sorry. So stand. Give me a sec.
Should I just stop?
Not yet, I just can't get this the right angle. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone, and today my presentation will be about the music that builds heavy metal. So let's start with what defines heavy metal. So heavy metal music is defined by the aggressive drumming with loud, distorted, and wailing guitars, accompanied by a low and growling bass, and vocals that range from low droning to high screeching. Basically, every instrument ever can be added to heavy metal. If you just increase the volume and increase the distortion, you basically got it. And this is an example of what heavy metal music sounds like. Is the wall connected to it? Just try it. Okay, so what came before this, the pioneer of heavy metal? So before this, let's draw a brief timeline. So before heavy metal, there was only blues and jazz. Blues is mainly focused on meandering tempos and more simple but memorable riffs. So around this point, people used to a lot of folk songs were characterized and encoded into more sort of bluesy tones. Then enters rock music, which introduced the distinct 4/4 beat pattern that all music was conformed to afterwards. Then you have catchier riffs and a steady tempo to support it. Then after the rock era came punk, which basically took rock's tempo and just cranked it to the max. So you've got really fast drums going and everything else is pretty normal. And then all of that, so mainly rock and punk led to what is heavy metal. So I'll go into the first example of how blues is affected. So blues' impact was short but sweet. At the start, the pioneers, so Black Sabbath, used a lot of blues elements in their songs. So my first demonstration will be a song by them called Paranoid, which the main riff uses this blues, not blues chord, but like this blues pattern and also some tones. Okay, so just like my bad. Alright, my bad. So this is the Sabbath song. So you can hear that in there. I've got two like music videos to play. So this is another song by Megadeth that uses that blues tone. So like the slow meandering tempo that's being stopped at. And then this is the solo from Paranoid that uses I forgot what the scale is, but it's like the blues scale and then it makes the yeah, so it's done. Okay, so now rock and hard rock. This was the most substantial impact on heavy metal. So it introduces aspects such as virtuosic and complicated solos, more catchy riffs, and a steady and solid tempo. So these two aspects are in this one song called Enter Sandman by Metallica. I'll be playing it. code within it, and more so catchy tones and notes in it. So like you can stick with it. And this solo, I'll just play it rather than like actually do the video. So this is more so incorporating techniques to create a complicated solo. Yeah, so you can hear more so bends using the pentatonic scale here to create more elements within that solo. And then punk. This one just added speed. Blaring drums was the main contribution of punk. In the start, when I played the Megadeth song, you can hear the really fast drums. And I won't play this, but you just kind of see how punk has an impact on it. Oh yeah, thanks for listening.
I'll have you after Marcus actually. Margaret,
No, angle. Like, I don't think it wasn't part of the performance. I'm fine. But I did more humanity to it.
can you share it with me? I'll get so make sure it makes sense. Share it. So you have a Mac, you laptop, like, sorry, does yours have an HDMI? Can we share, do you have speakers on
I don't want to bring all the. I just got aesthetic.
No, it's like we'll discuss that.
You should go to the West Indian.
No, answer that really not. So what is she like? That's not nice. But she shows my clothes. Oh yeah. I think she was. I mean, you know how she's always
Okay. Yes, cool. Okay, let's get started. So, me, Pretty cool the names, right?
So, everyone, today my topic is to introduce a duo called Two Channel and its modern music. So, Two Channels, they were the Croatian channels duo, and they were Luka Sulik and Stephanie Hauser. The year active of them is 2011 to 2022. They play cello for some well-known pop and rock songs, and as well as some classical and film music. Background of them. The author is from Croatia, and Luka, the Sulik, just Luka, from the Slovenia. They met a master class in Pula and while they're still teenagers. They were both educated at Academy of Music in Zagreb. And they said they were the competitor that before they became the duo. And both of them, they won lots of awards when they at that time. So now I'm going to play a piece that written by them. It's a film theme song. It's called Cinema Paradise. to become famous. Two Shadows, they record and cover a song of Michael Jackson. It's Smooth Criminal. They used 3 weeks when its publication. It already had amassed 3 million views on YouTube. Basically, they are the first group to cover a popular piece on classical music instrument and put it on the internet. Their first video is Smooth Criminal. So So we also got some sing song, for example, the game of song or melody. Just have a little bit of listening. So back to the Smooth Criminal, their first video, you can see that they use the electric cello. So the electric cello is a type of cello that relates on the electric current on amplification to produce the sounds. The major difference is between the electric cello and the normal cello is they they are while they later on relying on the resonic soundbox. So you can basically see this. They don't use the soundbox. They use the external amplifier, and that is the normal cello. The fingerboard and bridge are basically just the same, just different from the soundbox. So rewards from Two Shadows, they get it. They get the Points Awards at 2020. Their album Two Shadows get the Best International Album, and also the Smooth Criminal awards the Best International Song. This is my biography. Thanks for listening.
So what's your slides called? What's your slides called?
Arf, arf. Arf, 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 arf,
Your name
arf.
on it?
Arf, arf, arf.
What's the title? Like search.
I'm a dog. Yeah. I'm a dog.
Or research. Can you share with me? Like that? Or those tabs. Can you read tabs? Sorry. Yes. Oh, task. This is first one.
Oh, you put it down. No. What is that? Well, that is.
So after, if you don't mind, if you just miss, so I can see. Try to get the right angle so it's
Sorry.
all good. I think I'll, yeah. Yes, awesome. Thanks. So after the all is George, and then I'll speak. And then you ready?
Yes. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the basic technique of the. This is the things I want to talk about the fingerprint scale, rotation, and theory. And this is a picture of the and it consists of parts. This is the tuning box. We can turn that to different scales, and we only play on the right hand of the. Because the strings are usually made of nail rope, we can see on the last page. And so the players always wear the fingertips like the things I wear now. This is a picture of wooden fingertips. Most of them are made of plastic, resin, total cell, or emerald material. But to be honest, I never see anyone wear the emerald fingertips. Never. A group of fingertips includes 8 pieces because usually the performers don't perform with their little fingers. And the fingertips also has a long history. It started to be used in ancient China. It's in the Jin dynasty. It's 260 to 420. And I want to talk about the scale of wooden. Some people talk wooden, compare wooden with the piano, but I think they are really different. Even on the scales, wooden always use the pentatonic scale. This means there are only 5 notes per octave. The major scale of the pentatonic scale is built of like tone, minor third, tone, and minor third. Yes. And for example, in the pentatonic scale, the D major includes the D, E, F sharp, A, and B. So through this, I have a question to for you guys. In a pentatonic scale, what does this A major contain? you?
There is a D C sharp. Um, is it, E and F F sharp.
Yes, that's true. Oh, and I want to talk about the notation. I think all the play are always this one, except me. But in Korean, we always use the notation like this. We use number to represent the notes. So what's the notation mean? For the number notation, we use the number 1 to 7 to represent the letters like C, D, F, G. And for which major scale, we make that equal to 1. And for example, if that's a C major, we write 1 equal to C at the top of all the notation. And for example, if these are all the examples. Now I want to move to the techniques. Because that it's hard to say my techniques in English, so I just explain to you what are they like. This is the basic techniques. Flute is a string instrument, so the basic performing technique is using your thumb, your index finger, middle finger, and your ring finger to block the strings with the finger inwards. And this is a video of them. So can fusion they play multiple notes at the same time? I think the answer is yes. It can play at most 8 notes one time. But for the most pieces, use we only use these two techniques. The first one means you use the thumb and your middle finger flex the strings inward at the same time, and always is an octave or over octave. Yeah. And this one is similar with that one as well. Which means you use the thumb and your index finger flex the strings inwards at the same time, and it's always below 1 octave. Alright, and I think most of people see and know the techniques I performed before. This means you need to quickly repeat the movement of plucking one string inward and outward with your thumb finger. And it looks like this. I didn't find a picture, so I write by myself. We can use that to make a persistent sound. But I couldn't find a picture was clear enough, so I just draw this picture to represent this. We never play on the left side of the program bridge. Instead, we press there. But mean the first line means flex the string first, then press on the left side of the bridge That if that's E with this sign, sometimes it means E and G because we like in the C major we don't have F. And the other one is like the opposite of the first one. It means you need to press the string first and cut that later. Like if the E with this, it means G first and E next. And we also have the mixture with all the two things here. It means that the string first, then repeat the movement of pressing on the left side of the bridge. Like if it's the C major, it means D and D sharp repeat. So now I want to perform the first part of this song. It includes all this technique I mentioned above. And this is my favorite. Most of the description I learned from my textbook, and others like videos are from the YouTube. And most of the pictures, that's my handwriting. Thank you everyone.
Now, I think for this one, I'm going to give you guys just do the track, because I know that all of you is right. So we could sort of get some time to wait. Okay, so after George, I might get you guys to continue working on your group performance. Now, before we move to that, is there anyone here who just wants to do the presentation today and wants to get covered? Just do one more, yeah, and then I'll do it straight after Austin. Straight after Austin, I'll just get you guys so that you can go practical. Hola.
I don't even know what it is. No, what is it? Oh, science. Yeah, soundtrack. Got it.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. We play tag.
But we also your anime girl. We also your anime girl background. Crazy.
He said.
That's such a good
Give me.
What?
for that's awesome. That's awesome.
Are you gonna be spreading stuff in the hall too?
A little bit.
Okay, so I'll just check that out. Whenever you're ready.
Alright, so I know you guys are probably eager to get practicing, so I'll try to keep this quick. But so as we all know, music is entirely subjective, and there are styles that some people like that others might not. For example, jazz is one of these things that's very love-hate. So some people absolutely love jazz, and some think it's weird. Atonality is much the same, although atonality is much less known and popular than jazz. It is also one of those things, either you love it or you absolutely hate it. So what is atonality? So first off, atonality is a really bad name. So atonality is the prefix a before the word tonality, which implies that there are no tones. So if you think about it, you might think that atonality might be, say, things like drum notations. But then again, drums, while they don't have tones in the context of the scale, they still have pitch. So the only piece I can think of that truly has no pitch is 433, which is just 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. That's not really music, but that's not the point. So in order to understand what atonality is, we must first define tonality. So Western music tradition has been around for a lot less than, say, music in other cultures, which goes back to ancient times. But even so, over the last hundreds of years, there's been an established order, a sort of set of foundational laws to how we write our music. And one of these is tonality. So if you search up tonality in Google, you get some complicated definition about how like notes interrelate within the piece and something about scales. In general, tonality is just to do with scales. So the A major scale, as we all know, is one of the scales around 7/5, and that has 3 sharps. So I'm just going to draw a few notes, and I want you to tell me if it's within the scale. Okay, so first we have B sharp. Is that in the A major scale? No? All right. What about E sharp? E sharp is also not in the scale. And what about F sharp? F sharp is. Okay, so we know that scales are defined by the key signatures. So A major has an F sharp in the key signature, which is why a piece in the A major scale would have F sharps. So basically, when a composer chooses a scale for their piece, what they'll usually do within that piece is stick to the notes which is within the scale. So for example, in A major scale, an A major piece, you probably won't find B sharps because there are no B sharps in A major. So this piece is extremely annoying for some people, but I'm going to demonstrate because it's simple and easy to understand. So this is the main motif of Purcell's canon in D. So it's in D major. D major has C sharp and F sharp. So if you look at this passage, you can see here there are F sharps and C sharps. And the reason for this is because this piece is in D major, which has these sharps. Now, if you move it into the parallel key of D minor, with parallel key just means it starts in the same note. D minor does not have F sharps or C sharps. D minor instead has a B flat. So if you put this into the parallel key, it might sound like this. And of course, you can tell that it's a different key because of the different notes. So the things that tonality does have that atonality doesn't have are major and minor scales, like I just demonstrated. Resolution of dissonances. So dissonances are really just chords that sound weird and defy our expectations of chords. And in tonal music, when you have a dissonant chord, you will usually have it resolved back to the tonic, because we have come to expect resolution to the tonic because that is simply how the foundational laws of music have been constructed over the last 100 years. And then there's the reference to the tonic. The tonic is the starting note of the scale. So in a tonal piece, the tonic will be returned to several times, especially at the end, and also major triads. Now, this here, as you can see, is a fair bit of a mess. There's a bunch of sharps and flats. To be honest, I don't even know what I wrote, so I'm just going to play some random notes. So this is an example of what atonal music might sound like. As you can see, there's a number of sharps and flats that really don't fit together in any defined scale, and I've also ended on a tritone for extra dissonance. The point that I'm trying to illustrate here is that there are far less rules in atonality, and it's really defying all the rules laid out by tonality. So that basically is the general definition of atonality. So characteristics of atonality include chromaticism. The chromatic scale is a scale which includes all 12 possible tones in a row, so semitone by semitone rather than the typical tritone, semitone, tritone, semitone. Dissonances are resolved, so often you'll have weird chords that are just left to hang. You have lots of non-triadic chords, and literally it just sounds weird. So often with atonal pieces, you'll have weird key signatures, weird time signatures, weird rhythms, and these aren't necessarily characteristics of atonality. But the thing is, when you've started to write weird music, such as atonal music, generally your entire piece just happens to be weird. That's why you have weird rhythms. Okay, so examples are late Romantic composers often experimented with atonality, such as Liszt in his Bagatelle Sonata. So as you can tell, there's lots of chromaticism and there are random sharps basically in the music. So atonality hadn't really started to emerge as a movement yet by the time this was around, but as often is the case with the arts, natural progression is that laws are made and then they're defied by later people who come along and decide, well, maybe it's time for something new. Another example is Rite of Spring, one of the greatest pieces of all time. Personally, if you haven't heard it before, you definitely should listen. It was completely revolutionary in that it featured atonality, polytonality, and just generally a lot of weird stuff. And it is a really weird piece. This is a piano reduction of, I think I've taken the third movement. So I think you guys can take from that this is a highly unusual piece, lots of accidentals, and the chords move in all sorts of directions. So if we look closer at a specific passage from Rite of Spring, you see that these are really random accidentals. You see E sharps, also F naturals, but E sharps are rare in scales because it's one of the last sharps to appear in the solo bits. And as you can see, this is also a highly dissonant chord at the start, and it's just a really, like I said, weird piece of general. So another famous composer who started pushing the boundaries of tonality is Richard Wagner. Tristan and Isolde is one of his greatest operas, and this is the opening chord. And I've mistakenly labeled it two stacked tritones, which is not correct. I discovered after I submitted my PDF. But here we do have a tritone. So on top of the bass note, it's a tritone, an old 6, and an old 9. So this is a really dissonant chord. Another example of a dissonant chord is the Petrushka chord from, I believe, Stravinsky's Petrushka, also a heavy weird chord. Notable composer of atonality, Arnold Schoenberg, who was born 1874 died 1951. He was an Austrian composer who's mostly associated with the atonal and chromatic movements. He believed himself a revolutionary. Even he declared that destiny had ordered him to write atonal music. Called him crazy, but there's always a time for something new in the arts. So I'm going to perform some of his pieces now. These are numbers 5 and 6 from his 6 little pieces for piano. Really quickly, I'm just going to run through a couple small passages from the pieces. So here, this is from piece 5. As you can see, there's a G to D flat tritone, G to D flat tritone in the chord in the left hand in the second bar. And also, one of the things I mentioned is that atonality often features chromatic lines. Here we can see a D, C sharp, C chromatic descending line. Here we have descending chromatic lines in the left hand. Here we have G to F sharp, E flat to D, and here D to C sharp and B flat to A. There's also a major 7th C to B, which is also a dissonant chord. Now the ending is also fascinating because there is a ton of dissonance here. In the first chord, there's a B to F tritone in the left hand and a D to A flat tritone in the right hand. In the second chord, there's also moving from the first to the second, there's the chromatic lines F, E, and A to G sharp in the left hand, and there's a D sharp to A tritone in the right hand. Now, in piece 6, from the very beginning, this is dissonant because A to F sharp is an augmented fifth. This is just one of the weirdest moments in the piece. It is marked PP, but it is honestly one of the louder moments in the piece because a lot of the piece is notated PP, which is really quiet. Here we have a D to G sharp tritone again, a chromatic line, E to E flat, And also, if you look at the chord, there are lots of notes within extremely close proximity, which is generally not something you'd find in most of the pieces, because stacking a whole bunch of notes which are close to each other is a great way to have a really weird sound. Lastly, the ending. So again, this piece is no tonic. Tonic, to reiterate, is the starting note of the scale. The ending note of this piece is an A flat. Now the interesting thing is, the note A flat doesn't appear a single other time in the piece. So whereas with a tonal piece, the ending note, the tonic, will have appeared many, many times throughout the piece because it's the most important note in the piece. There is no most important note in an atonal piece, which is why it ends on a note that literally hasn't appeared before in the piece. So the moral of the story is, atonality isn't everyone's style, right? Like we heard the Stravinsky piece, and it is very weighted. But same with jazz. Some people love it, some people hate it. But the thing is, in the arts, it's always about the new and the self-expressive. So in a way, atonal music is similar to abstract art, or if you think about it, for example, Edward Munch's The Scream, you know, the painting where it's the guy going like that. So maybe with atonality, just give it a try, and you'll find it's more meaningful than you might have thought. Thank you.
I saw something really interesting. They made a Lego set of the right string. Really? They made it for real. That'd be funny. I don't think so. Okay, maybe like it expands my screen. So from here on, it's like you have this on screen this way. So they should not. Yeah, but use by the time you put this.
Yeah, super one.
Cool. All right, thank you. So, I wanted to say, you know, it was really fun watching.
When are you doing it? Next month.
All right. It was really fun watching you guys present and, you know, demonstrate the instrument. And it was really cool to see like instruments that I haven't heard much of. So it's really fun watching you guys. So I'm going to be getting those videos. I'll be giving them to Mrs. Slater and marking you guys for some videos. What I want to do in this period is give you guys time to continue doing your practical. Unless there's someone here that wants to present today, like, no? Okay? Awesome. So I wanted to just give you guys a bit of a break from presentations for now and just give you guys time to work on your practical. Sorry, can we just... Now, I think page 5 should be free, page 2 should be free. Middle school's gone off to athletics, so it's going to be really quiet. It's actually a really good time to do some track. Do you guys know what you're practicing so far? Like, I don't really have much info about what you're doing, but like, I know you guys have been working on it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get you guys now to just head to your room. You will be practicing.
So confused.